PMA. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
So, PMA from Rockschool Grade 6. PMA, by the way, stands for Positive Mental Attitude. What else? A few little pointers to help you get a few more marks. There are some big features of this piece along the lines of controlling of bends. And I should say that if you've got an instrument that doesn't have a whammy bar, still do this piece, but control those bends in the way that it suggests or that it gives you on the third line of the third page. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Most important thing really when it comes to these bends is to be really clear about the pitches that you're expecting to come out. So if you look in the third line of the first page, the pitches, including the pitches in brackets, are 4, 6, 5, 6. So you're expecting to hear the 4 go up to the pitch of the 6, come down to the 5 and go back to the 6. Whether you do that by just controlling your bend with your left hand, or whether you're going to dip the bar to give you the pitch of the 5, get it really clearly in your ear by picking the notes a good few times, so your hand doesn't go too far either way. It's quite easy for it to do that. Similarly with some of the big bends, when you're up here for example, it again quite easy to go too far, so pick both the notes, the note that you're fingering and the one in the bracket, quite a few times to get used to an accurate tuning for how that part of the melodic line is going. And then when you bend up to it, your ear will be picking up on getting the pitch right. Other things to do with getting the pitch right, one of the things about this piece is there's some quite long sustained notes, and the first thing to say is that unless you're using some compression sometime or sustainer type pedal, quite often it's hard for those notes to sustain. Now, from the point of view of an exam situation, I wouldn't particularly worry about that, because your examiner will know if you're just plugging straight into an amp and your note doesn't sustain quite as long as it's written. That's not a monster big deal. But if you can add some compression into your sound, it'll help those notes last. And the first example is on the third line. When you're going into that long note like this, even when it doesn't tell you to, I would definitely put some vibrato onto those long notes. And coming back to that tuning or intonation matter again, there's a bit of a tendency, especially when you're under pressure, as you will be in exams, for the hand to vibrato sharp all the time. So if my note is a C sharp, which it is in this case, what you need to do is have your C sharp pitch going slightly up, but then coming back to the C sharp. So make sure you hear this kind of core of C sharp in the middle of the sound all the time like that. You don't want to end up with the core of the sound, the lowest part of the sound, being too sharp like that. So it's a little bit sharp and getting very sharp. So make sure you're always letting the hand come back to the starting position like that. Of course, part of the problem is that the amount of pressure that the hand needs to make the vibrato, or indeed the bends, is different in different part of the finger, in each different part of the fingerboard, on each string. And this is a good piece from the point of view of getting your hand used to those things. Basically, the closer you are to the 12th fret, the easier it is, the less actual pushing you need to make, the less hand effort you need to make to get a particular amount of change of pitch. And strings like the second and the third are a lot easier to bend than the first string, which is tenser, which is tighter to get its pitch. Couple of small details which are the sort of thing that just add that odd few extra marks. Again, on that third line on the first page, in the third bar, there's a rest at the end of your long note. There's a 1 beat rest, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. And then the same thing happens, even though it's not actually marked in the notation, on the first bar of the second page. That actually brings me to one thing. Really, with all of the tracks that you're playing, it's really important to make sure you listen, and I mean seriously listen, just like it was a proper song. Listen to the backing track on its own, almost as much as you listen probably to the full track. And this tune is particularly important for that, because a lot of times when you're playing these long lines, there's a harmony guitar part that you're playing with. Now, if you were playing in a band, you would be watching that other player who was playing the harmony guitar part, and so you'd be kind of coordinating your playing together. And of course, you're playing to a CD, so that other player can't react to you. You've got to react to it. So it's really important that you learn the particular little things that player is doing, where they put a bit of vibrato in on a bend, for example, and then you put it in. Precisely how they do those little changes to bends. Make sure you listen to what they're doing as much as you can, and do the same thing as much as you possibly can.